Peter Hall's 1968 Midsummer Night's Dream is very much indebted to the living theater, to live performance, and to 1968. It's a very 1968 movie in lots of ways that I'll get to. The Royal Shakespeare Company provide both the director and the cast. Peter Hall is a longtime director of the Royal Shakespeare Company, a group that formed in the second half of the 20th century to do a lot of Shakespeare in a particular classically trained way. We've got a very classically trained cast here of Royal Shakespeare Company members, many of whom have gotten super famous since. Yes, that is Judi Dench in green body paint and some leaves. Yes, that is Dame Helen Mirren, much, much younger. Yes, that's Ian Holm. You will see him later this semester, depending on which films you pick. Yes, that's the late Dame Diana Rigg, the only member of the cast who's actually famous off stage at this point. She's a star in the mid-60s spy show, The Avengers. Not with Thor, but with Emma Peel and John Steed. So this is a theater-centric production in one specific way, though not in others. This group of actors and this director are very attuned to the language. You're going to hear more of the words than you usually hear, maybe the most words you'll hear in any production of Midsummer Night's Dream on film. And they're going to cut the least and interpolate the least. Go looking for that Indian boy who's not in the script. He's hard to find this time. Keep looking. Easier to find in our other Midsummer Night's Dream movies for this course. It's too easy to say it's stagey. Now, they are classically trained, which means they're attuned to the language, which means they're good at making it clear. They're good at making it understood. They're good at using the musical qualities of the language itself, making it sound good, exploiting its natural sound that Shakespeare had put in there because he's a poet. They're going to use the poetry more than any other film cast we're going to see. This is still a film. You might notice it's outdoors. It is set on location. We are outdoors in Warwickshire. We're not only in England, we're in the English countryside that Shakespeare is generally from. Stratford-on-Avon is also in Warwick. We found an old country house, then in ruins, to do the exteriors, and they're doing a kind of very modern 1960s costume thing where it's actually late 60s costumes. You can see it in the female characters' hemlines for sure, but the male characters have a kind of 1620-ish collar whenever you get a chance. So it's like 1968 British menswear, but with collars from the 17th century. That's our deal. It is naturalistic in other ways. There is less of an attempt to pretty things up. It's lower tech. There's less makeup, less glamour, less simpler lighting. The female leads are allowed to look like good-looking, normal people, not like complete goddesses. Can you make these actors look much better than this? It has been done. Rigg herself, who's playing Helena in this production, was a television sex symbol at this time. Though we're not sexing her up so much here, we're just going to we're just going to put the camera dead on her and that's a fairly attractive person. We're going to see the countryside, but it's not going to be gorgeous. On the other hand, all these trees are actual trees. When this production wants to show you the woods, they go to the woods in England, and it's about as good as it is. The fairies are super low tech, body paint, a few tiny light effects, some leaves here and there. A fairly simple and slightly alarming group of fairies, maybe primitive Celts, maybe 60s hippies, maybe some version of both of those things, who are following their own agenda, ignoring the regulars as always. This is like experimental 1960s film. It's naturalistic. It seems very plain. It's deliberately artless, except when it comes to camera work. You will see some jarring transitions. This movie wants you to be aware of the camera, unlike standard Hollywood productions, which then and now want you to not notice, want it to be smooth. The transitions here are jarring, and that's not amateurish, that's deliberate. We cut in the middle of a long speech to another scene. Oh, we're in a boat now. And it's quick. The transition is lickety-split. You'll also notice the actors looking straight at the camera when they monologue, which you won't see a lot of other people doing. It's a little disturbing sometimes to see them looking straight into the camera. Ask yourself during soliloquies, especially, when is the actor making eye contact with the camera and when are they not? When are they talking to the camera and the audience? When are they kind of reflecting on something else and not quite looking at us? Uh, in the Helena Hermia Derby, this production, I suspect, goes more with Helena, who is um, a it's a cast of people who are gonna be famous someday more than people who are famous already. But Rig is the most famous of them outside the stage at this time, and she gets to be Helena, and she gets a lot of her lines. That makes her more complicated. If you're looking for interpolated scenes, this is going to be the hardest one to find, but if you push it, you see some things that aren't in the script that can't be in the script. Remember, Shakespeare could never go outdoors. So we've got a naturalist, language centric production where the camera work is deliberately modern and jarring in a fairly simple, low tech, but arresting way.